Few inventions have reshaped history like the Henry repeating rifle. Before it arrived, most guns fired just one shot at a time. Reloading was slow and dangerous, especially in battle. When the Henry came along, everything changed. With its fast-firing design, the Henry let a shooter fire 16 rounds before needing to reload. This was unheard of in the 1860s. Soldiers and pioneers alike suddenly had a tool that gave them a real advantage. The Henry was more than a weapon. It was a leap forward. People called it that damned Yankee rifle you could load on Sunday and shoot all week. The phrase might be an exaggeration, but it shows the impact this rifle had. It altered the balance between offense and defense on the battlefield and the frontier. From the heat of war to the Wild West, the Henry repeating rifle left its mark. Its story is one of innovation, daring, and lasting influence that shaped America's future. The Henry rifle would not exist without Benjamin Tyler Henry. Born in 1821 in New Hampshire, Henry grew up at a time when America was changing rapidly. The country was expanding, and new ideas were fueling the Industrial Revolution. Henry was a skilled gunsmith and inventor. He worked for Oliver Winchester at the New Haven Arms Company. Winchester wanted a better rifle, and Henry was the man for the job. Henry studied the flawed volcanic rifle and saw how he could improve it. By 1860, Henry had developed his repeating rifle. He used his experience with metalwork and mechanics to create a firearm unlike any before. The new design was reliable and fast, promising to change the way people thought about shooting. Henry's invention arrived just in time. The country was on the edge of civil war, and people needed weapons that could keep up with the times. Henry's name would become forever linked to this leap in firearm technology. Before the Henry, most rifles were single-shot muzzleloaders. Soldiers had to pour powder and ball down the barrel, then ram it tight and finally fire. This took time and left them open to danger. The Henry changed all that. Its main feature was the lever action system. The shooter pulled a lever to eject the empty cartridge and load a new one. For the first time, a person could fire multiple shots just by working the lever and pulling the trigger. The Henry also used a tubular magazine under the barrel to hold its cartridges. This allowed for quick reloading and more shots per minute than anyone had seen before. It was a new way of thinking about firepower. By combining these ideas, the Henry rifle let one person match the firepower of a whole squad armed with old muskets. It was a true revolution in gun design. The heart of the Henry rifle was its clever mechanics. The lever action worked with surprising smoothness. When the shooter pulled the lever, the spent cartridge was ejected from the chamber. At the same time, a new cartridge slid up from the magazine and into place. The Henry used rimfire .44 caliber cartridges. Each cartridge held its own powder and bullet, making loading simpler and safer. This was a huge step up from pouring powder and ball into the barrel. The tubular magazine ran under the barrel. It could hold up to 16 rounds, which was impressive for the time. To reload, the shooter twisted the end of the magazine, slid in more cartridges, and was ready to fire again. Every part of the Henry rifle was designed for speed and reliability. These features gave shooters a clear edge, whether fighting in a battle or defending a homestead. The Henry rifle made its mark during the American Civil War. While it wasn't a standard-issue weapon, a lot of Union soldiers actually bought their own Henry rifles. Units like the 7th Illinois Volunteer Infantry, for example, became famous for their use of the Henry. They could hold off much larger enemy forces, which was, honestly, pretty impressive. Confederate soldiers learned to fear the rapid fire of the Henry. Some even reported that, and I quote, "It was impossible to load and fire fast enough to keep up." The rifle's high capacity saved lives and, really, won battles. After the war, the Henry rifle became a favorite of pioneers moving west. It was reliable, easy to use, and, well, packed quite a punch. Settlers, lawmen, and outlaws alike trusted it to protect them out there on the frontier. The stories of the Henry rifle in action are, legendary. From the fields of Gettysburg to the wilds of Nebraska, it was a symbol of survival and progress. The Henry rifle forced armies and tacticians to rethink their strategies. Before, soldiers would line up and fire volleys, then reload together. but the Henry allowed for continuous, fast fire. One shooter with a Henry could actually outperform a dozen with old muskets. This new level of firepower changed the way battles were fought. Skirmishers and scouts could hold ground longer, and raids and defenses became more effective with repeating rifles in the mix. Enemies had to adapt, or, well, face defeat. The Henry also influenced how armies thought about supply and ammunition. Faster shooting meant soldiers needed more ammo, and supply lines had to keep up. The rifle's success really paved the way for future repeating and automatic weapons. In short, the Henry helped bring warfare into the modern age. It set the stage for future innovations in firearms and tactics around the world. Many stories have grown up around the Henry rifle. Union soldiers wrote home about their pride in owning one. Some said the rifle made men brave, knowing they could fire again and again without stopping. One famous story comes from the Battle of Allatoona Pass in Georgia. A small Union force armed with Henry rifles held off a much larger Confederate attack. Their rapid fire was so intense that the Confederates thought they faced an army of repeating rifles. Civilians too relied on the Henry. Pioneers traveling west used it to hunt, defend against bandits, and survive in the wild. Some lawmen claimed the rifle saved their lives more than once. These tales show how the Henry became more than a tool. It was a companion and a symbol of self-reliance in a changing America. The Henry rifle was not the end of the story. Its design inspired future generations of gunsmiths. Most notably, it led to the famous Winchester rifles. Oliver Winchester took Henry's ideas and improved on them, creating the Model 1866 and later the 1873 gun that won the West. The lever action system and tubular magazine became standard for decades. Hunters and soldiers alike valued the speed and reliability these rifles offered. The Winchester name became legendary, but it all started with Henry's vision. Other gunmakers copied and improved on the Henry's design. Repeating rifles became the backbone of American firearms for years. The basic principles Henry invented are still used today. Without the Henry, the story of firearms would look very different. It set the standard for what a rifle could do. Today, the Henry repeating rifle is a prized item for collectors and gun lovers. Original Henry rifles are rare and valuable. Their brass frames, smooth wood stocks, and unique mechanics make them stand out in any collection. Historians see the Henry as a turning point in American technology. Museums proudly display surviving examples. Gun enthusiasts often dream of finding an original Henry or shooting a modern reproduction. Collectors value the Henry for its history and craftsmanship. Each rifle tells a story, from the battlefields of the Civil War to the lonely outposts of the West. It is both an artifact and a piece of living history. For many, the Henry is more than just a gun. It represents America's spirit of invention, courage, and adventure. The Henry repeating rifle changed the world. It showed that technology could tip the balance in war and peace. It gave ordinary people a powerful tool for survival and progress. Benjamin Tyler Henry's invention started a wave of innovation that echoes today. The lever-action rifle became an icon of the American frontier, and its influence is still felt in modern firearms. The stories of those who carried the Henry, soldiers, scouts, settlers, remind us of its importance. Its place in history is secure, not just as a weapon, but as a symbol of American ingenuity. The Henry repeating rifle remains a legend. Its legacy lives on in every lever-action gun, every collector's display, and every tale of courage from America's past.